Call the committee of the whole of April the 28th to order. There is an agenda there in front of you. I call for a motion to adopt the agenda, please. Councilors Cunningham and Nish. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. I'll note that we have joining us remotely today, we have Councilor Skelton Morvan and City Manager Dr. Buchan. Thank you very much. Yes, and yeah, our recreation director as well. And look at that. People are popping up. All right. We have a presentation this evening from Mr. Bob Kilberry, who's no stranger in this room, with regards to the Prince Rupert Rotary Club. Mr. Kilberry, come on forward. There's a microphone there for you. I think you're very familiar with it. Yeah. Push the button once to turn on your mic and introduce yourself and take it away.
Thank you for the opportunity to present today. My name is Bob Kilberry. I'm with the Rotary Club of Prince Rupert, but I'm here today representing the Prince Rupert Rainmakers Interact Club, which operates out of Charles Hayes School. They have a project that they'd like us to present to council, so I'm here to do that. Just a little background on the Rainmakers Interact Club. They a school-based service club that's sponsored by Rotary. They operate independent of it. They have their own executive and they're responsible for their own operations. The goal of the club is to provide service, not only to the school, but to the community and around the world. This is the club's 6th year of operation, which they've supported a number of school and community initiatives. Last year alone, the club raised $12,000 for the fine arts programs in School District 52. And they purchased a shelter box, which cost $1,200 to aid in disaster relief, and donated $1,000 to an orphanage in Africa, as some school students were attending that as part of a school project. And in addition to that, volunteered throughout the community. So about their project. So the project that they're proposing involves the installation of roofs over the 6 existing picnic tables at the Saltwater Marsh. Each of the 6 picnic tables will have its own roof structure. Each of the structures will have a shed-style roof. There's a sketch in your package there on page 5, with the lower edge facing towards Yaga. The roof will have open rafters, so no fascia boards or gutters. Shelters will be constructed of 2x6 cedar posts and beams with 2x8 pressure-treated rafters, and the roof will be made of clear sun-tough polycarbonate panels. The shelter posts will be mounted on concrete piers tied to concrete footings. And there's some technical drawings that are there as well. We had the assistance of Mr. Ro Rutterham to help us do that, and he's very involved in construction in the Prince Rupert area for a number of years. So the project rationale, why did we pick this one? Well, with over 2,500 millimeters of rain annually in Prince Rupert, we have virtually no covered recreational area in the parks and public areas. So the project seeks to address this issue by providing roofs over the 6 picnic tables located in the marsh. The area was selected as it had existing assets, it had wooden picnic tables and benches that would benefit from protection from the elements, and a high volume of visitors, both local and tourist. Its location near the water, proximity to the Rushbrook Trail, with a variety of marine animals and birds, make it attractive regardless of the weather. It'll be infinitely more attractive and appreciated by all users if the existing amenities, such as the picnic tables, were made more usable by providing roofs over them. The proposed construction materials were chosen for a number of reasons. Virtually all the existing structures in the marsh area are wooden, including the picnic tables, benches, fencing, and information signposts. A wooden structure is more aesthetically pleasing given the natural setting of the marsh area. Cedar has traditionally been used for building outdoors on the North Coast, with a little maintenance has proven to be resilient in our environment. It is our intention to seal the posts and beams with CETOL to reduce the maintenance and increase durability. Using wood also provides an opportunity to engage the students at Charles Hayes in their woodworking area to prepare some of the non-technical components of the structure, such as finishing the posts in beams and maybe building the concrete footing forms. And we also selected the clear polycarbonate roof panels because they're lightweight, easily maintained, and allow natural light to enter the picnic table area. Having natural light available, even on a cloudy, rainy day, would make the picnic tables more attractive for use. The estimated cost of the project is $86,000, and the club is well on their way to securing that money. We're probably around the $55,000 mark right now. So we're waiting on some additional funding to come our way. So should the project be approved, our construction would not commence until the fall of 2025 because we don't want to have construction going there during the summer time when it's going to be in most use. And then, of course, we need to be able to engage the students, and they need to be in school to do that. So we would defer construction until the fall of 2025. And then all the construction would be done by construction professionals. So our request is that you direct city staff to work with us on the project.
There you go. Council, questions? Councillor Ady, or comments?
Comments first. As a former high school teacher, I have to say I'm delighted to see the initiative by a group of young people to do something that's really good for the community. So I think it's a great idea, and I also think that the value of the project is that it enhances a part of town that is kind of coming back to life. I think as a destination for people, not only people who live here, but also in the summer months when people are visiting town, we see lots of people in that area. So I see it as a very positive thing. I look forward to seeing where it goes.
Excellent. Councillor Randawa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your presentation. Sounds like a great project. You said like it will start in fall, and you know how long will it take to finish? You have any timeline for that?
I don't expect it would take long once at this point in time, we haven't secured a construction company to do the work because we're waiting for the funding to be in place and don't want to start it or engage somebody in the project if we don't have all our funding in place. So I'm hopeful that we will have that in place in the next month or so because we're waiting on some other funding partners. And once we do that, then we'll talk to a construction company and find out what their timelines are. But I would suspect it wouldn't take any longer than 2 months by the time you dig footings, pour footings, and then put the structure up. Again, it might be contingent on the work being done at the school, depending upon their availability as well. So.
Councillor Cunningham.
Fantastic project. I've been more than happy to support it. I think it's one of these things that we're actually showing the positive side of the youth. You know, like, and I never even realized this Rainmakers Club was around until I saw this tonight. So they've kind of been flying under the radar and doing a lot of good things for the city. So it's nice to see them coming out and being recognized also. The only factor of all this is the maintenance of it. I'm assuming the city will be doing the maintenance of anything.
That's what our assumption would be as well. I don't think it would be a lot. They're going to be sealed with, at least the cedar portions are going to be sealed with Ceatol, and then the polycarbonate roof could be power washed. I don't think the maintenance would be that large.
Thank you.
Councillor Forster.
Thanks. I think this is a great idea, and I'm really excited to support it. My question is about wind, because we know we get a lot of wind here in Prince Rupert. An open structure like that with a roof, sometimes I've seen in people's houses in the windstorms that becomes a bit of a flag. And I don't know what it's like at the Salt Marsh for wind. Anytime I go there, it's a nice sunny day.
Yes.
Has that been considered?
Mr. Kilberg.
I'm relying on my construction expert, Mr. Rotherham, who designed the shed, and he's built many of these sheds and structures around the Prince Rupert area and have not had any issues with that, with the roofs being removed. So I'm thinking that it would meet that standard.
Councillor Niche.
I just wanted to say thank you for your presentation, and I definitely support it. And I wouldn't think the wind will be too much of a concern if it's built. I'm sure like Roe would build it.
Councillor Skelton Morven, was that a hand? Or,
Yeah, that was a hand. No,
Okay,
I,
go
I
ahead.
wasn't stretching strategically or anything like that. But no, I just wanted to thank Mr. Kilberry for his presentation and just for the work that he and the team at Rotary do. I think it's really important. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to this project. No real questions or concerns. Just thank you for the work and say hi to Mike for me.
All right. If there are no other questions, this is not a meeting where we make decisions. It's a meeting where we receive information. But thank you very much for the presentation, and I'm sure that staff will be getting back to you at some point in time.
Great. Thank you.
If there's no other items for the agenda, and there aren't that I know of, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn and resume into or move into a regular council meeting. Councillor Randawa and 80, all in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. Thank you very much. Call the regular council meeting of Monday, April the 28th to order, and if there are no other late items, ask for a motion, please, to approve the agenda. Councillors Forster and Skelton Morven, all in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. Before we go into the meeting, formally, I want to just acknowledge that this city flag, the Canadian flag outside City Hall, is at half-mast. And it's at half-mast today in particular because it's the National Day of Mourning for workers who lost their lives in the workplace. But it would also be at half-mast today in recognition of the people killed in the Vancouver incident. And we can speak to that a little bit later in the open time, but I just want to acknowledge that the city of Prince Rupert feels rocked by the events that took place in Vancouver, and that we want to circle around the Filipino community within Prince Rupert that's just such a part of the fabric of our community, and hold them up and mourn with them and mourn with Vancouver. It's just a heartbreak for the community of Vancouver. All right, if there's any member of the public, Councillor Forster.
I apologize. I should have added, could we bring a motion from the committee of the whole into the agenda?
Absolutely. We will put that.
Sorry, I'm late on the ball today.
No, listen, we're very flexible here. So why don't we do that? Well, you know what? Let's just bring it into the council roundtable time as a motion out of the council roundtable. All right? Okay. I'm assuming there's no member of the public that wants to address council at this time. And with that, we will move into the consent agenda. There's a number of items in the consent agenda. I'll just read through them so people understand what's there. There's the minutes of the regular meeting of April the 14th. There's a report for approval from the Director of Planning and Development Services with regards to a letter of support for EcoTrust, looking for help in, or a letter of support for a school infrastructure grant. There's reports for receipt, report from planning with regards to the March 2025 development activity report. There's also a report from the Deputy City Manager regarding the time capsule project update. There's correspondence for approval, request for proclamation about National Nurses Week. There's correspondence for receipt from Western Transportation, Westac, with regards to the federal election platform summary. And there is request for support for the Elbows Up for Climate campaign from Canada's local leaders. Recommendation is that all the items on the consent agenda be approved. Can I have a motion to that effect? Councillors Forster and Randawa. Any discussion? Any items there you want to speak to? Councillor Cunningham.
Just on the big project update, I noticed that it says here that at the moment it's 15% of the.
So that'll be coming up under reports.
Oh, is it? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Any other comments? All in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. All right, now we move on to the report from the Director of Operations with regards to the big project update. Recommendation of council receives the report for information purposes. Can I have a motion to that effect? Councilors Ady and Nish. Questions? Councilor Cunningham.
The only question I have is, I noticed in the report that it says that the date about 20% of the allotted budget has been expended, yet only around 15% of the overall work is being completed. Now, my only concern is is this going to continue? And if so, how much are we projected to be overrun?
Dr. Buchan, where
Your
would you
worship,
like me
I
to go?
defer that to the Director of Operations.
Director of Operations.
Through the mayor to council. So right now we're predicted to be about 30% over the initial estimates. Right now we're looking at the supply of materials is a lot more than anticipated. So we're looking at the corridors that are most urgent to complete right now, but we are predicted to be about 30% over the initial estimate.
30% over budget, over cost.
Correct.
Yeah.
From the initial estimate that was done when we went to secure the funding, we're about 30% over.
Councilor Ady.
I suppose in the context of just the scale of what we're trying to do, we're not going to pretend that there aren't going to be some forks in the road with regard to some of what we're just talking about. It is the biggest infusion of capital into the biggest municipal infrastructure project in the history of this community and likely many others. So the public interest is high. You can see that online in the discussions that the public has. I was in the Crestview area, so I can see, I saw firsthand the impact on the people in the areas where the work's going on. So I think it's pretty important that we do what we can to be not only accountable for the work and the problems that may come up along the way, and the successes and the things we achieve. Perhaps there'll be things that get done faster than we thought as well. So I think we need to do that, and not only ourselves, but also the associated contractors that are doing the work as well. So with that in mind, I would like to suggest that we establish an online information portal that the public can access that can be upgraded as the work goes on. I don't know whether that means once a month or once a week. I'm not sure what would be appropriate given the pace of the work that's being done, but I think it should include what's going on at that moment. You know, where is the work taking place at the time that somebody looks at the portal? What are the anticipated neighborhood impacts? What are the challenges? Obviously, you know, this report as a first time out indicates that some things have come up that have been challenging. I think we need to be transparent about that. And within that, you know, where are we in terms of the budget and the spending compared to where we would like to be or where we thought we were going to be? And I do appreciate that in the report, there is that a reference to some of the strategies that are being contemplated in terms of learning from the challenges as they've emerged and working to overcome them. So I think that's fantastic. I think it's important that that's in the report. So that's what I'm hoping for. And I think that the more transparent and effectively we can communicate about this, the more you can put out some of those fires of what is undoubtedly going to be inconvenient, as we've been clear, and as Mayor Pond has referred to repeatedly, it's not going to be without inconvenience. So I'd like to see something like that considered.
Dr. Buchan.
Your worship, I'd like to recommend that council refer the concept of an online information portal on the big project to staff for review and response back to council.
Excellent. Thank you. Councillor Forster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm curious, I've also had a lot of questions recently about, are we on time? And I know there's delays, but people had mentioned that there were timelines on the big posters and they have been marked out. So I'm assuming or extrapolating that means we're delayed. How far are we delayed? Are we looking at another 2 months, 6 months? There's always delays in any construction, as we've all talked about. You decide you're going to paint a wall, but you're going to fill in a hole, and then you find, oh, better change this too and that too, and you end up doing extra things. So it's never as simple as it seems. But how far behind are we? What are we looking at?
Dr. Buchan.
Your worship, I'll refer that question to the Director of Operations.
Director of Operations.
Through the mayor to council, first off, thank you for your question. So in reference to the project delays, I believe it's in reference to the Schwatlands Road part of the project. So that is the biggest, most expensive piece of the project. It is significantly behind. We did run into some permitting challenges, and there's some challenges with unique parts and design work on that. We're about 6 months behind on that specific piece right now. As far as the entirety project, we're behind on it, but we are moving to speed up the process right now.
Okay. Councillor Randawa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, mostly Councillor AD and Councillor Forster asked those questions. Just one question, like when we started this project, we show people like these area will be get done. So now, like with 30% we have over. So now we have to re-plan our project, or how are we going with that?
Dr. Buchan, I'll just go directly to the Director of Operations. If that's okay.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you for your question. So we're actually taking a look at the map as an overall priority-based segment. So we're using our initial strategy that was based on priority, consequence of failure, and we're going to look at the priority segments first. But obviously with increased costs, we're going to have to eliminate the less significant sections. We're going to work to get a new map put out based on that.
Thank you.
Councillor Nish.
Just wondering where we're at with the, I know we had talked about and putting out for bid to have other contractors also involved in this project, and I'm just curious to know if we've had any of those come back from bids yet, or if it's still in process.
Director Schmidt.
Yeah, thank you for your question. So right now we're actually in preparation of putting an RFP out for one of the significant sections on 11th. We're about 2 weeks away from having that posted on BC Bid.
Any other questions or comments? I'll just add my 2 cents worth. I absolutely agree with all of the council comments that, you know, staying on top of this, regardless of whether the news is good news or bad news, but keeping council informed, but also keeping the public well informed is, I think, extremely important. The entire community is engaged in this one way or the other, and so the more that we can do, keep people well informed of what's going on is worthwhile. I appreciate the report. If there are no other questions, Councillor Nish.
I just wanted to bring up too, because I know there was some online commentary about sewer lines not being done on Crestview, and you know, right from the get-go, the idea was that if it wasn't separated, if it wasn't sewer and storm separated, then it would be done. And I've confirmed that's still the plan. And so people were wondering why Crestview sewer lines weren't done. Well, that was because it was already separated in that area. So, you know, I think people need to understand that the older neighborhoods where there is not separated sewer and storms, you will see the water, the sewer, and the storm lines done. And you know, there was commentary that, oh, we had already run out of money. Well, you can't really run out of money at the beginning of a project, I don't think. So I don't know where that came from. So I just wanted to put that out there just in case someone's listening.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. Next up on the agenda, we have bylaws. We have the City of Prince Rupert 2025 five-year financial plan bylaw number 3554 with a recommendation that council give fourth and final reading to the City of Prince Rupert 2025 five-year financial plan bylaw number 3554. Can I have a motion to that effect, please? Councilors Ady and Forster. Any questions from council? I mean, this was well discussed in the special meeting the other night, but it might not hurt to revisit some of this. Councilor Ady.
It was well discussed, so I don't know that I have more to add specifically from my perspective, but I do know that one of the points that was made was that there was an interim period that would allow for some public input. So I am curious about whether we have heard anything in that regard.
Director Miller, well, Dr. Buck, and I'll go to Director Miller.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have not received any comments, although comments may have gone directly to Director Bombin.
Director Bombin.
Thank you, through the mayor. We have not had anybody provide any feedback, questions, calls, emails, letters.
Great. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Cunningham.
I noticed on a couple of items that, like say Cow Bay Marina, the projected revenue is basically flat almost, and we haven't passed the new bylaw for the charges down there yet. Is that one of the reasons why?
Director Bombin.
Yes, so the Cow Bay Marina is basically full in the summertime, so there's no real opportunities to get any more juice from the fruit unless the bylaws are increased.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. We also have the City of Prince Rupert property tax bylaw number 3661. Recommendation is that council give fourth and final reading to the City of Prince Rupert 2025 property tax bylaw number 3661 2025. Motion, please. Councilors Forster and Ady. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Councilor Randawa is opposed. It passes. Moving on now to Council Roundtable. Councilor Forster, I'll give you the first go.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to make a motion to ask staff to work with the Rotary Club and the Prince Rupert, where's my notes?
Yeah,
Interact Club
Yep.
to see about actioning their ask for the covers for the tables.
And might I add, bring a report back, that report back to council?
Thank you very much. Yes, I would like to add that.
All right, and seconded Councilor Ady. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. Other items? Council. Councilor Ady.
And just comment on a couple of things. You began the meeting with the reference to the event in Vancouver, and unfortunately, I think we have to also note that it's still very recent, and I think that there's information that we're waiting for that hasn't come out. So I don't think that we'll know until that happens precisely how this community may be affected in terms of those events. So I just hope that I know that the community will find a way to rally and support the Filipino community in what was unbelievable. It was staggering news from Vancouver. And the second point, the day of mourning at 5 o'clock this afternoon, there was a gathering of workers and residents to recognize the day of mourning for workers who were lost on the job. Some of us were there. I know somebody was on a ferry that was intending to be there. And I just want to just give a bit of a shout out to, on election night, to our still, I think, at least momentarily, MP Taylor Bachrach, who took time to come and stand in the rain, which I think on a day, on an election day, I think that is a testament to his commitment. So I appreciated that.
Anything else, Council? Councilor Rendawa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I don't know if it's too early to say, but lots of people asking like about the old RCMP building. What's the plan for the city? I don't know. It's too early to tell, or when it's time.
So I'll give you my best, and then Dr. Buchan can clean up whatever I get wrong. At this point in time, there's not any plan, no specific plan for the building. There are a number of parties that have already expressed interest in the building, but given that the RCMP were and you know that date was shifting, we were waiting for the RCMP to be out of the building, and then those parties will need to be able to get into the building and give it an assessment as to what kind of costs they would be looking at just to occupy it, whether that be on a lease or a purchase basis. Dr. Buchan, have you got anything else?
No, Your Worship, I think that pretty much summarizes where we're at.
Excellent. Thank you. Anything else? A couple things. I note that the RCMP building official opening will be tomorrow. What time is that taking place? 4:30 to 6. I will not, unfortunately, be in the community for that. I'm traveling to the Westac meeting. It's an organization that we've been part of for a long time, but we've become a little less involved in the last few years, and I'm reviving that. I think it will be particularly pertinent to our community in and around the tariff issues. That Westac is a joining of the western provinces and territories around specific issues of transportation, and the participation in that is at the highest level. Ministers of transportation from each of the provinces rotate the chair of the organization, and leaders of many of our key transportation companies are part of Westac. So I think it's going to be important for us. I won't be there. Councillor Forrester will be the acting mayor and will be present for that. I also note that tomorrow is the blessing and groundbreaking for the new middle school that's under construction. And so that too will be taking place tomorrow. Council is invited to attend. There is no speaking role for that, but if you want to go and observe that, it's been a great collaboration between the city and the school board in terms of getting the work done. I know from speaking both to the architects that have been involved in the project as well as school district staff that they are very impressed with our people throughout the organization that are interacting with them. And so it's really appropriate that the city be there to be represented. I don't have a time just offhand, but Director Miller will make sure you get that information. And again, I just want to close by circling back to where we started. If any members of our PhilCan community are listening, just know that our hearts go out to you. Our council has really personal connections to this. Councillor Forrester is married into a Filipino family, and I have 2 grandchildren that are Filipino, half Filipino. They could have easily been at that festival. That would have been common for them to have been present at that festival. And all of us have good friends in the community, neighbors who just, you know, we were reaching out, you know, were you there? Do you know people? And the community was reaching out to you know, all their contacts to see if they, you know, who was safe and who was maybe not safe, and hard, it's just hard to describe how we'll be different. I think Vancouver will be different. Festivals will take on a different look. Security at festivals will be different, and it's unfortunate, but just want that community to understand that we're with you. We're standing with you. You are us, and we're you, and we're in this together. Without anything else, if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn at this time. It is election coverage, after all. Councillor Forrester and Councillor Adey, all in favor? Any opposed? It is carried. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.